welcome to another What I Eat in a Week as a food content creator. As you guys know, I post a new video every day, which means I film a new video almost every single day, which means I eat a lot. Like last time, I'm gonna go through and show you guys how much I actually eat of each dish and how much I save for later, so you can get an idea of how I'm able to maintain some semblance of balance in my life as a person who eats for a living. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's gonna be a lot of really awesome food, so let's eat. Anyway, it is Monday, and today we are filming a brand new street food video in New York City. I try to do this about once a year, and it's honestly like my favorite day of the year. I've had street food all over the world, and at least in the western part of the world, New York City has y'all beat. Anyway, so today we are going to be eating some Ethiopian food. We're gonna get some Korean street food and some like New York City bodega classics. I'm so excited. Let's go eat. Okay, first I headed to the Upper East Side for this famous bodega food truck. They even have their own bodega cat. I had to get one of their crazy chopped cheese creations. This one had whole onion rings chopped up and bacon and barbecue sauce and melty mozzarella. And it was so fresh, the onion rings were still crispy, but the meat was also really juicy and it had that sweet tanginess from the barbecue sauce. But my favorite was their chopped cheese fries because their bodega sauce is so flavorful. It's got this sharpness from like pickles maybe or some kind of mustard. And it cuts right through that rich, cheesy meatiness, and then the fries like soak up the sauce and get so salty, savory. It would be insane with some hot sauce. And right next door was this Ethiopian food truck I've been wanting to try for so long. This chicken tips bowl has a whole roll of injera, which if you've never had Ethiopian food, it's this like super soft, kind of spongy sourdough creation that you use to scoop up your meal like a spoon. And y'all, the marinated chicken was so garlicky and juicy, and the spicy lentils packed so much of this like rich, smoky heat. And the cabbage was so crunchy and fresh, and all the flavors just worked together to create like this sweet, salty, spicy symphony. Oh, Ethiopian food is too good. Okay, so I just got back from my first few stops, and as you can see, I did not eat everything, but Chris is happy to help. Don't worry, literally nothing goes to waste around here. He's like a trash can in the best way.
Garbage disposal.
Garbage disposal. Our friend said we should start a new channel called Chris Finishes, because he just finishes all the food that I can't eat. Be good.
Someone's gotta do it.
Comment if you would watch that. And for dinner, I went to a Korean street food spot where they have a cornflake crusted Korean corn dog. It was huge with so much melty mozzarella, and I think the sauce was a combo of like mayo, mustard, ketchup, and maybe a hot sauce. It was so fluffy too. I definitely had to turn it around to get to the hot dog though, but you know what? It was kind of juicy and like a little sweet too. And I was so curious about their kimchi bulgogi burrito. When I tell you this thing was wet, just dripping with this meaty, spicy juice that had a lot of sweetness from the kimchi. I'm not gonna say it was my favorite burrito because it was a little too much for me. The tortilla got kind of soggy too, but the bulgogi was super tender. And yeah, that was street food in New York City. I think my favorite dish of the day might have been the chopped cheese fries. They were just so comforting and satisfying. And anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning and happy Tuesday. So as you can tell, it is spooky season, which is like my favorite month of the whole year. So what I wanted to do today was to go see a bunch of scary movies and then only eat movie theater food for the whole day. Because I feel like this was like your childhood dream, to just go see scary movies all day and eat movie theater food. Because at least my parents would never let us get food from the movie theater because it was way too expensive and honestly kind of mid. So I'm gonna see if they've upped their game since then. My theater has like spicy chicken sandwiches and like churros and pizza. So I don't know, maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't be. It'll definitely be expensive. But yeah, let's go see some scary movies. We have one of those movie passes where you can see like unlimited movies for $30 a month. And I saw they had Beetlejuice funnel fries. They were out of the green sauce, but they gave me caramel sauce instead. And you know what? They were really crispy and warm and like super sugary, of course, but not too oily or anything. And listen, this is definitely just a frozen pizza that they stuck in the oven for a few minutes. And I have nothing against frozen pizza, but it was like one of those dry, crackery ones that wants to be like a flatbread, but then it just ends up tasting like cardboard. Not my fave. I had some hope for the mozzarella sticks because they looked a little seasoned, but the cheese wasn't the meltiest and the marinara sauce didn't have a ton of flavor. Anyway, first we saw the substance and I just like, there are no words to describe that ending. I had to sit in silence for like 10 minutes just to process what I saw. It was kind of a great movie though. And then later we came back for Terrifier 3 and I didn't know that they had spicy chicken sandwiches. It looked just okay, but then I added ketchup and relish and it was actually spicy. Kind of juicy and crispy. It wasn't the most tender chicken ever, but like the bun was soft and the heat was there. And the fries were nice and thick and crispy. I added a little more salt and then they were perfect. And obviously you have to hit up the dollar store to make your own mini candy salad. I found these Sour Patch zombies, which are like raspberry and orange flavored, and they were actually so juicy and fruity. And the crunchiness from the Nerds gummy cluster goes so well with like the squishy kind of fluffy Haribo berry clouds. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not make it through Terrifier 3. That movie is not for the faint of heart. I might try it again, but not for a while. And yeah, that was our day at the movies. The chicken sandwich was definitely the best thing on the menu, and we also saw Smile too, which was definitely super scary, but a lot easier to stomach than Terrifier. You guys, I can't believe it took me so long to start taking a multivitamin, but here we are, and thank you so much to Ritual for sponsoring a portion of this video. As y'all know, I don't always have the most balanced diet, so it can be hard for me to like fill in those nutrient gaps in my diet, and that's why I started taking Ritual's Essentials for Women 18 and Over, which is a clean, high quality, clinically backed multivitamin. One thing I love about Ritual is that all of their ingredients are traceable, which means they share where all the key ingredients are from and why they're there, so you know exactly what you're putting in your body, because not all ingredients are created equal. They also combine all the dry ingredients and wet ingredients into one capsule, so you can like take your folate at the same time you take your vitamin D, and it saves space while traveling, which is very important. The Essential for Women 18 and Over has a bunch of awesome ingredients. I'm going to list them all on the screen here. These multivitamins are vegan friendly, non-GMO certified, and they have delayed release to be gentle on the stomach, so you could take them with or without food. They're also gluten-free. Ritual is also a subscription-based service, so you never run out of your vitamins, and if you use my QR code or the link down below, you get 25% off your first order. Good morning, my loves! It is Wednesday, and today we are heading to perhaps the best mall food court in all of America, at least if you love Asian food. So we're taking the train all the way out to Flushing, Queens, which, if you didn't know, has the best Asian food in all of New York City. And it's called the New World Mall. The food court is massive. There's 32 different vendors, like dumplings, hand-pulled noodles, pan-fried buns, all the chili oil. Chris is literally so excited he took the afternoon off work so he can come eat with me. And yeah, let's go eat some Chinese food. So we started out at a Chinese Korean dumpling spot. I don't think I've ever had a combo of Chinese and Korean food, but it sounds incredible. So this is the sour dumpling soup. So it's gonna be like spicy and sour. Give me a dumpling! Trying to fish one out. Yum! Oh my god. Oh, that's so good. The wrapping is so tender. I think it's pork filling, super juicy, and the broth is like, yeah, it's got that sourness that brings out the heat even more. So it just kind of like engulfs your mouth and like heat in the best way. Oh, the flavors. And it's got these like green onions, which add this freshness. It is delicious. We got dumplings and ramen, soup with chili oil. She said this was spicy as well. It doesn't look as spicy as the other one, but I'm sure it's delicious. Even spicier. That's got a kick. It's almost more of like a sriracha-y kick. It kind of gets the back of your throat like instantly. There's so much flavor in the broth. Like that's the thing. Even just the simplest part of the dish, the broth, is just, it carries so much flavor. Oh, I love Chinese food, man. These pan-fried buns, they're so soft and fluffy on top, and then so crispy on the bottom and juicy inside. Pan-fried buns, baby. Cheers. Got all over my phone. I knew it was gonna do that. Take two. Oh my god, that's incredible. So juicy. It's chili oil time. Oh yeah, baby. Delish. That's insane. This is as good as the ones we had in Shanghai. They're just so crispy, so juicy, so fluffy, so spicy. And the pork flavor, if you're in New York City, skip Manhattan. Come here and get these freaking pan-fried baos. You won't regret it. And this is called Rojai Mall. It's like a Chinese burger. So it's this like crispy pastry-like bun. And then on the inside, it is like chili oil chicken. And then they had extra chili oil, which looks phenomenal, but I'm gonna try it by itself first. So crispy. Get a little extra chili oil. And chili oil is fire because the chilies are just the right size. So they're not too crunchy or too big. They just kind of like melt into the food and add so much spice and heat. Great sesame flavor. We got ice cream from the vending machine. It's White Rabbit brand though, which is like a super popular candy in China. It's like a taffy, but it's like harder than a taffy. It's like a milk candy. So I'm expecting this to be kind of like milky. It's blue, so maybe like a raspberry flavor. I have no idea what to expect. We'll see. Ooh, that is really good. What is that flavor? Maybe it just tastes like that white rabbit candy? This is actually sweeter than a lot of ice cream in China, at least. This is really good. Man. Oh, it has an interesting aftertaste though. Almost like a little artificial aftertaste. So creamy though. Damn. Hello friends, it is Thursday and today is Nigerian food day. So there's a lot of Nigerian food that I have never tried before, like fufu. So I got some okra stew, which I heard is really spicy, so I'm excited. And what I have been wanting to try for so long, look at this giant fufu. Apparently you're supposed to slap it. I didn't know they were gonna give me so much. I'm so excited. These are puff puff. They're kind of like beignets. I believe there's another name for them. Bullfrot or puff puff, I believe. So we've got our Nigerian feast all set up. We've got the fufu and we've got some okra stew with I think oxtail in it. That sounds insane. So basically fufu is like a starchy mixture made with like cassava or yams or something like that. And you can see the texture here. You just kind of pull a piece off like that and it's like very, almost like a Play-Doh-y, but like a little bit softer, and then you roll it up in your hand and then you kind of make like a little spoon out of it, and then you just scoop up your stew with your little fufu spoon. Whoa, look at that. Oh my God. The fufu is so soft. It literally just melts in your mouth. And yeah, the stew has some spice. It's got some like beans or lentils in it. It's a little earthy. This is so much fun too. I feel like this is like such a fun meal for kids. Like just play with your fufu. It's so fun. Okay, let's get some meat. It's also messy, but hey, that's part of the fun. Cheers. Oh my God! The oxtail just melts in your mouth too. And it's like fatty in the best way, you know? And the stew is a little oily in a good way, you know? It's like buttery, very rich. And now we're gonna try this puff puff. So these are just like fried pieces of dough, like donuts. I think they're called bullfrot or puff puff or beignets. I don't know. Cheers. I mean, it's delicious. It's fried dough, you know what I'm saying? It's got a little bit of sweetness, nice and crispy on the outside, super fluffy. That's really good. I'm gonna see if Chris wants any of these. I'll probably finish the stew at least, but I might have some fufu for later. And then tonight we're gonna go to another Nigerian restaurant and we're gonna try some other Nigerian food. I've been wanting to try this spot for so long, but it's like right next to Times Square and I'm just never up here. So I finally made it. We got the suya burger, and suya is like this smoked, spiced meat skewer. It's so garlicky with a nice kick from the hot peppers. And this burger had a fried egg and this creamy, spicy aioli and like juicy tomatoes. And the bun was so soft. It was crazy. And of course I had to get some jollof, which is like one of the best rice dishes in the world, y'all. It's just so smoky and it has this perfect like al dente firmness, but it's also really soft and chewy and like almost crunchy. Great tomato flavor too. And the chicken was pretty moist. It had this little char and there was a good amount of heat in the tomato sauce. And yeah, that was Nigerian food day. Good morning. Happy Friday. Okay, so The Infatuation is one of the best food blogs in the entire world, and they just blind ranked the 30 best bagels in New York City. But what they did is they ranked plain bagels and they ranked them at their office and not fresh, like on site. So what I want to do today is go to their top 5 spots that they said were the best bagels in New York City. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get bagel sandwiches and I'm going to eat it right there, because I don't know about you, but when I go get a bagel, I get a bagel sandwich and I eat it right on site. So yeah, we are finding the best bagel sandwich in New York City today. We're going all the way up to Harlem, all the way out to Bushwick and Brooklyn. We're literally going to be running around Manhattan all day eating so many bagels, and it's gonna be so amazing. Yeah, let's go find the best bagel sandwich. Our first stop of the day is Bo's Bagels, all the way up in Harlem. It only took us like 40 minutes to get here though. This is number 5 on the list, and this has been the best bagel in Harlem since 2017, because there was a bagel shortage up in Harlem, and then Bo's came along, and I mean, apparently they're the 5th best bagel in all of New York City, so I'm excited. I'm so hungry. So they're known for these like crazy meaty bagels, like they have their own chopped cheese, and then this is their Reuben, which has their own pastrami, their corned beef, Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, Russian dressing. They usually put it on this black Russian bagel, but they were out today, so we got it on the onion and garlic bagel. I mean, it looks fire. First bagel bite, 5th best bagel in New York City. Cheers. Oh my God. It's so fatty in the best way. It's got this smokiness. It's also kind of sweet. The Swiss cheese adds the creaminess, super garlicky, and it's got like the toasted garlic, so it's even more of that like yummy, like warm, toasted garlicky flavor. The bagel is good. It's soft. It's not super fluffy, but I don't mind that because it lets the meat really shine. That's really good. So we just made it to Apollo Bagels. We only had to wait in line like 15 minutes. It wasn't bad at all. This place is super viral right now because they have these like very aesthetic open face sandwiches, and they hand spin their bagels and then they like bake them and they cut them fresh, so they're like hot and really crispy apparently. And yeah, it's kind of like a work of art. They may have been a little biased because the lady at the counter did say she watched my videos, so they gave me a hat, which is very nice. And they might have made it look a little better for me, so I don't know. It might not look like this for everyone, but it's really beautiful, so. It's so crispy, it's much lighter. It's almost like more of like a bread, like a toast. Like on an avocado toast, you know what I'm saying? It's not really giving bagel as much because it doesn't have as much of a chew factor, but the crispiness is there. And yeah, it's very light, so it kind of lets the toppings shine a little bit more, and they really do. They're so fresh, really well seasoned. I got the scallion cream cheese, which is delicious. Yeah, there's a lot of flavors going on here. The capers are like super tangy, and the salmon is really buttery. I mean, this is a fire bagel, but it's definitely a different type of experience than your classic New York bagel. It's really good. It's so buttery and rich, but also really fresh. And thanks for the hat, Apollo. We've come all the way out to Bushwick in Brooklyn for the number 3 bagel spot, Knickerbocker Bagels. And this is the spicy mama sandwich on an everything bagel. So it's got scrambled eggs, Cajun turkey, pepper jack cheese, and chipotle cream cheese. And this is a big bagel. And honestly, it looks like the fluffiest bagel so far. It feels very light and soft, like it's very fresh. It smells spicy, so I'm excited. Texture-wise, this might be my favorite bagel so far. Like, it's so light and fluffy, but it still does have that chew factor. It's warm and like feels fresh without being too toasted. And the turkey actually has a lot of flavor too, because it's like really well seasoned. You can kind of see it's like a smoky, like a chipotle seasoning. The egg is super fluffy, and I mean, sriracha is the best, so. We have finally made it to the number 2 bagel spot in New York City, Liberty Bagels. It's number 2 on the infatuation list, but it might be number 1 in my heart. These bagels are massive. Look at how much cream cheese they put in that thing. This is the jalapeno everything bagel with bacon, sriracha cream cheese, and tomatoes. One of the managers of the Liberty downtown location told me about this, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. And just like cute, especially compared to like the first spot. Like both bagels was good, but like this is, there's no comparison here. It's so spicy, perfect chew factor. It's soft in the middle, and it's got this great, like, you can dig your teeth into it chew on the outside. The bacon sriracha cream cheese is so flavorful and savory. It's so creamy, it's so spicy. The tomato is juicy. This might be my favorite bagel in New York City. I don't know. It's a pretty spectacular creation. Oh, I gotta do another one. I love you, Liberty. You're number 1 in my heart. The sun is setting, and we have finally reached our last bagel location of the day. This is apparently the number 1 bagel in New York City. It's Essa Bagel, and it's very close to home, which is so nice. So I can go take a nap after this because I'm so full of bread. But anyway, we got it on the everything bagel, and one side is everything, and then one side is like plain. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or if that's just something that they do here, but she's cute. This is their signature sandwich. She's a beauty. She's got lox, capers, cream cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onions on half everything and half plain. Let's see why this is the number 1 bagel in New York City. All right, I'll be the judge of that. It does look very seedy, which I love. The more seeds, the better. The salt factor for me with this one. The everything bagel is so salty, and it just brings out the flavor of everything else so well. It is soft, it is chewy. All of the ingredients are super fresh. I mean, it's a thick boy and it's delicious. I can see why it was number 1 in New York City. I mean, it's kind of a perfect bagel. That's incredible. It's so fresh, it's so satisfying. New York City, I love you. Whew, okay, we're finally home. Final thoughts on the bagels. I would say they were all just very different and unique. It's hard to rank them, but like Apollo was definitely the crispiest, the most aesthetic. Knickerbocker, I would say, was the freshest and the softest. Liberty had the best chew and like the most fun cream cheese flavors. And then Essa was just like all around a really amazing bagel, fluffy, chewy, crispy, like, and maybe Bo's bagels fell behind the others a little bit. It was just a lot smaller and just didn't stand out as much. But if I had to rank them, I would say maybe Apollo and Essa were my favorite just because they were both like so fresh and like unique and just, I mean, I love a salmon bagel too, so I'm a little biased. And then probably I would say Liberty and Knickerbocker were like a close second. And then Bo is like third, fourth, fifth, but they were all really delicious. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna go take a nap. Oh, I almost forgot we did bring all the bagels home, so we're not gonna waste them. We're going to eat them slowly over the next few days. So yeah. Good morning, happy Saturday. Today I am only eating Lunchables for a whole day. This is not a sponsor at all. I actually didn't grow up as a Lunchable kid. My parents only shopped at like Whole Foods. We only ever ate organic. Like my dad would cook these incredible meals for us. I was very, very blessed and lucky, but I wasn't a Lunchable kid and I always kind of wanted them. Like, you know, when you're a kid and all your friends are drinking like high C and your parents say it's bad for you, which is true, but you really want it. That was Lunchables for me. So yeah, I've never had the pizza Lunchable. I didn't even know they had like sub sandwich Lunchables, ham and American subs. They have chicken nugget Lunchables, which seems weird to me, right? Like, didn't you eat these at school? You couldn't heat them up, I assume. So they're just like cold chicken nuggets? I don't know. They also have these dips that look really fun, like mozzarella sticks, and this one is like peanut butter and chocolate chip. So that should be fun. I also want to be like a little bit creative with it. So I think I might like try to air fry the pizza one. And then I also kind of want to try heating up the turkey and American like cheddar one and make it like a little melt. I don't know. I'm gonna try to make them as fun and interesting as possible for those of you who did grow up eating Lunchables, but this is gonna be fun for me either way. I'm starting out with the pizza one because this is the one that I want to try the most. Oh, it has a Crunch Bar. Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite candies. And a Capri Sun. I haven't had a Capri Sun in so long. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm gonna try one by itself and then I'm gonna try one air fried and we'll see. I'm sure I'll like the air fried one more. Honestly, this sauce actually smells good. Like it has kind of an oregano-y, like really well seasoned smell, which is not what I was expecting, but I'm here for it. Come on, Lunchables. Cheese it up, baby. How many pepperonis is too many pepperoni for a cold, small, child-sized pizza? I don't know. I feel like 3 pepperonis is the right ratio. All right, this is my first Lunchables bite of the day. No, it's so doughy. No flavor, that's sad. Well, we're gonna try this air fried. Take 2. I'm also gonna try it with 4 pepperonis to give it the best fighting chance that it has. Okay, all right, it's going in the air fryer. Be safe, little buddy. You know what though? Crunch bars will always be delicious. And these mini ones always remind me of Halloween. Nostalgia. So good, perfectly crunchy. It's hot. That cheese is melty. The pepperonis are a little greasy. First bite of our air fried Lunchable. Now that's delicious. Cheese is melty, sauce has some flavor, pizza dough is still too soft and doughy, but at least it's warm. And a Capri Sun? Are you kidding? Fun adult fact, if you open it up and pour some booze in it and then you can like reseal it with a flat iron and then people don't even know, but you're having fun. Cheers. It's a thing about Capri Suns, it's hard not to drink the entire thing in like one sip. They're so good. All right, next up we are trying this ham and American sub sandwich with fruit roll-ups. Are you kidding? Oh. This one comes in like different packaging. It's all individual. Got some meat. Slap our ham on there, just like that. Some good old Kraft cheese. Cheese, mayonnaise, wow. Like the last time, I'm gonna try it by itself first before adding any tricks. That doesn't look too bad. Cheers. My issue again is that it's too dry. Even with the mayo, like You know what though? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add Cheez-Its. Maybe this will work. This is not gonna make it better though. It's just gonna make it drier. I stand corrected. Oh my God, that's good. Adds so much flavor, much needed crunch. Ah, and they also have fruit roll-ups. I hope these are the ones with tongue tattoos. No tongue tattoos. Oh, now this is nostalgia. Pure sugar for a child. Such a satisfying texture. Sugar really hits the back of your throat. I also really wasn't allowed to have fruit roll-ups, so that's everything. And Kool-Aid, another thing that I wasn't really allowed to have as a kid. No shade to my parents. Kool-Aid. Wow, it's so pretty. That's the good stuff. That's some recessed juice if I've ever tasted it. Now we're trying the chicken dunkies, which I am just very skeptical about this. How are they gonna be good cold? I don't know. And just like just one part of the container is just ketchup. That's so funny. The cold chicken nugget. Cheers, I guess. Absolutely not. Why are they feeding this to children? That's horrible. It doesn't even taste like chicken. It just tastes like soft plastic. Okay, we're gonna at least try it, heat it up and see. Into the air fryer they go. While that's cooking, we will try their off-brand Oreos. Stale AF. It tastes like chalk or something. Retrying the chicken nuggets. This time they're warm. Ow, they're hot, I promise. Second try. Are they good? No, not by any means, bud. All right, now we're gonna try the dunkable ones. I'm gonna start with the mozzarella ones. Mozzarella sticks with marinara and breadcrumbs. So I guess you just take the mozzarella stick and then you dip it in the marinara and then you dip it in the breadcrumbs. Sad excuse for a mozzarella stick, but let's try it. No, I really like the breadcrumbs. They have a lot of flavor, but the mozzarella, it literally tastes like plastic. How is that even possible? It doesn't even taste like cheese. Ugh. Why are we feeding this to kids? Let's hope these pretzel twists are better. You can't mess up peanut butter, okay? You really can't. These pretzel sticks feel solid, as in hard, but we'll see. Cheers. That's the stuff. Chocolatey. I mean, you really can't go wrong with peanut butter, pretzels, and chocolate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, finally. Something good. Speaking of how much do I actually eat in a day, I am actually eating all of this because this one is actually good. The other ones, not so much. And last but not least, we have the most iconic, I feel like the most classic Lunchable is just turkey, cheese, and crackers. Maybe this will be the best one. Charcuterie, you know. It doesn't have a ton of flavor, but it's for kids, so you get what you get when you're a kid, I guess. A Reese's is elite though. If you were a kid and you had a Reese's cup at lunch, whoo. It's the softness of the peanut butter for me in a Reese's. So sweet, so nostalgic. This is just another Capri Sun, so I'll save that for later. All in all, final thoughts, they were not that good. And you know me, I'm very positive most of the time. I do feel like maybe it's just like a child's palate that they're built for, just simpler. I don't know. It's hard to say that a kid would find that delicious. I'm sorry. Especially the pizza one and the nuggets, like kids really eat that for lunch. Like I feel bad for kids now, knowing that. I guess if you're gonna buy your kid a Lunchable, just stick with the classic. I mean, the sandwich was also okay, but the bun was really dry, so that's about all I got today.
Good morning, friends. It's Sunday, and we are heading to the first ever Soup Dumpling Festival in New York City. We're gonna take a dumpling making class. We're gonna eat so many dumplings. It's usually just a Chinese food festival, but this week they did a special version, so it's just gonna be soup dumplings. Yeah, I'm really excited. I hope they have lots of chili oil, but yeah, let's go eat some soup dumplings. All right, we are here at the Soup Dumpling Festival. We got here about an hour ago. We just now got our food and this place is chaos. Like, I haven't tried the food yet. It might be incredible, but there's so much disorganization. Everyone's waiting in different lines for different things and nobody really knows what's going on. They ran out of soup dumplings, which everyone's very upset about. So we got pan-fried buns instead. I just feel bad for the people who like paid a lot of money and like waited in hour-long lines for this. We kind of got here at the end and got to finesse our way to the front, but yeah, we didn't get soup dumplings. We got some pan-fried pork buns and some beef noodle soup. Maybe it's incredible, maybe not. I asked for chili oil and I got this. No chilies, but there is oil. I feel bad for the employees, mostly because people are yelling at them and it's not their fault and they're doing their best. And I feel bad for the people that are waiting in really long lines. It's their first year. Hopefully next year they get it figured out. That's all I can say. Let's try a pan-fried bun. I'm just gonna use my hands because I'm over it. And this was just sitting in a tub. Like it wasn't hot off the fryer. Like it's been sitting there for like an hour, you know? It's not warm. Maybe it'll be incredible. The meat does have some flavor. It is crispy. It's not super hot, but it's fluffy. It's not the worst thing I've ever had. Should I try some oil? Just straight up oil? Maybe I'll dip it. I'm hoping it has a little heat. Add some more flavor, you know? It's not hot. A little bit kicks in at the end. Listen, it's not the worst pan-fried bun I've ever had because I've had the pan-fried buns from Mao Bao. Not to slander their name, but if you come to a New York food festival, don't get their pan-fried buns. They're at every festival and they're always really bad. We're gonna try some beef noodle soup. There's a decent amount of meat in here. I can't speak if it's tender or not. I haven't tried it, but they don't skimp on the meat. There's a lot of meat in here, especially for a food festival. They usually skimp on the portions. The beef is really tender. The broth has some heat and some flavor, and the noodles are good. Listen, the food is decent. I love bok choy. It's so crunchy, so satisfying. I really like the broth. It has a lot of heat. Pretty good. And then last but not least, we got some fruit tea. I think it's passion fruit, and I think there's an orange in there. Not too sweet, very fruity. I love how crunchy passion fruit seeds are. It's good. Listen, the food is good. Hopefully next year they figure out the flow of things a little better. And after this, we're gonna go take a dumpling making class and then we'll actually get to taste some soup dumplings, but they'll be the ones that we made. So they might not be as good, we'll see.
So it wasn't actually a soup dumpling making class, but we did just make like regular pork dumplings. Apparently soup dumplings just take too much skill for beginners. But the class was super fun. Making dumplings though is legitimately so much harder than I imagined. I don't know why it's like the folding of the wrapper around the meat. It was so difficult for me, but I kind of started to get the hang of it by the end. The instructor said it does take a few weeks to actually get good, so maybe one day. You can also make as many dumplings as you want, so we took home like 4 bowls for later.
Our fresh steamy dumplings with this special chili sauce that she made with peanut sauce in it too. That's incredible. Cheers. So juicy. The wrapping is like actually perfectly thin if I do say so myself. The sauce is amazing too because it's got the richness from the peanut, but then it's still spicy and kind of thick, but also like not too thick. Perfect amount of filling too. Nice and meaty. Got some chopsticks! Thanks, Soup Dumpling Festival!
And yeah, that was a week in my life. Apologies, I kind of forgot to film how much I actually ate of everything, but I usually take about 2 to 3 bites and then I save the rest for later. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and that's all for today.